All right. Welcome to the Ultra High Net Worth Clients Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Broadhead. We started this podcast as a way to create a central resource of the best financial planner practice growing tips shared by the most outstanding financial planners in the industry, of which our guest today is definitely one. These outstanding financial planners agree to be on the show and provide a ton of value for free, all in the hopes that our audience might learn from their words. My father was a financial advisor, and financial advisors are the main clients we serve. So my marketing agency's mission is to help every planner and advisor grow their business in an effort that the world become more financially secure. Today, we have the rare pleasure of talking with an incredible financial planner, Marc Shaffer. Marc, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah. Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me today. Glad to be here. We just started talking about different time zones. I'm in the morning.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're in the evening. That's a whole fun conversation. I am a financial planner located in Overland Park, Kansas, right outside of Kansas City. I have been at the firm for 19 years, have successfully transitioned it from the founder who started it in 1976. So we'll celebrate 50
Oh,
years next year, 20 of which I will have been there, and have 3 other partners and a team of 11. So comprehensive planning is what we do, investment management. In addition to that, lots of different service models to cater to whatever people find value in instead of all comprehensive. Some people want to piece that together, which we can talk about. And then it's worth noting that our firm mission is to bring financial planning to the masses. So while your podcast is about ultra high net worth, we do that. And high net worth, I don't know what ultra means, and that can be talked about too. But we also have a service model that brings lighter financial planning and investment management with no minimums, some of which people are starting with zero. And that's fun to watch those people grow. And some of them are growing into ultra high net worth people as they age.
that's amazing. Yeah, and our title is a little bit misdeceiving, deceiving. I don't know. I don't want to say it's bad, but
Yeah.
we talk to all types of financial advisors. Just that kind of ultra high net worth client, that was the most kind of catchy title, and it
Well,
got the most clicks. So.
with profitability, that's certainly probably the case. If we want to talk about
Mhm.
profit margins, that's a little bit better taking care of one high net worth family than 25 not. But there's a lot of satisfaction in taking people from
Mhm.
next to nothing into whatever freedom means for them. And we get to do both.
Yeah,
So it's all good.
yeah, absolutely. So when you are not, traveling the world and having amazing trips, how did you find yourself in this wild industry?
Yeah. So my parents gave me the money they saved for college when I was 18, which maybe I don't recommend because I bought a motorcycle with some of it. So that was fun. I had a
Hey,
motorcycle. My parents were Harley people. And so they introduced me to their advisor. And I met a guy that was probably in his mid 30s that was helping them, happened to be at Edward Jones. And I thought, well, this would be great. I would love to do this. So I asked him about it. He connected me to a financial planner with Edward Jones in Manhattan, Kansas, where I went to Kansas State University. And it turns out that K-State has a financial planning program. So I just by happenstance meeting someone, realizing the need. I think my love is like a lot of financial planners is the helping of people. And my role in the
mhm.
company is to connect people and resources, which sometimes has nothing to do with financial planning. But that's how I stumbled into it by meeting a young planner that was my parents' planner that kind of walked me into it, in addition to fortunately having a program focused on it at the college I just ended up at, which is one of the top
Mm.
financial planning programs in the country as well.
Nice, nice. That's awesome. Um, so he kind of took you under his wing and showed you the best strategies and helped you
Yeah,
get some traction. And
maybe not the advisor. I can't even remember his name. I would credit it to a mentor that I still have today, who was
Mhm.
the dean or assistant dean or some important title. He's told me I'm wrong, so I forget what it is, but of the College of Human Ecology, which is where the major is. I was in an honor society. I told him I was interested. He said, "There's a major for you." And oddly enough, on the wall in my office, I'm at my home today, My degree is in family studies and human services. And I
Mm.
like that as a degree. It's been revamped and now it's called a degree in personal financial planning, but it's not in the College of Business. It's in the College of Human Ecology. I think that college is now called Health and Human Sciences. And their theme is in a world focused on things, we focus on people first. And there's
Mm.
nothing more true in financial planning that the commodity part of the business is the investment management. It's the tactical way we do things, but the relationship side and the family dynamics and the goal setting and the ups and downs of living life with successes and losses. And, that's all about financial planning and the part that I get to focus on my team. We all focus on it, but I maybe do a little bit more because that's become my role. That the degree was perfect. So while the
Mm.
advisor at Edward Jones sparked the idea and introduced me to another one, it was Dr. Bill Meredith at K-State that kind of led me into it. And I finished in 4 years. I wish it would have gone five. And like any degree, in my opinion, the hard work comes after you graduate. So not,
Mhm.
I won't say that wasn't terribly difficult. It was difficult, or maybe I'm really smart, but it really prepped me for taking the CFP exam. I didn't have to take more classes. The program's registered to take the CFP after college. So I took that, passed it. It was what set me up to come to the firm I've been at for 19 years.
Mhm. Wow. You were so passionate to get started, helping folks that you forewent, you foregoed your victory lap in college.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yes, yes. Yeah, it's funny because now
Yeah.
we advise people on it. And it's like that's not just missing out on your first year salary, but you're also spending money for another year. So it's interesting now to look at the financial impact of the victory lap. But if I
Yeah.
had it again, I might have done it.
No one could fault you there. Awesome. So how did having, a more relationship focused, people focused degree, how did that impact your career and help you to, get momentum and traction in the business?
Yeah, that's interesting. I will say that I landed first at a job in St. Louis. It wasn't a great fit for me. I didn't have a network. It was, 4 hours away from Kansas City. I'm originally from Topeka. So that's a whole conversation there. They allowed me to have time to study and get credentialed and all that. But I came to this firm that I'm at 19 years ago, and it matched that same idea of relationships so much so that we were writing visions for people's lives. Like we had this whole exercise of new clients coming on, figuring out who they are, helping them sometimes figure out who they are, or reminding them what's most important to them because you get so busy in the day to day in the life that you don't even focus on what you want to be remembered for when you're gone. And so we would write a vision for people's life, some of which new clients would read and cry for the first time, and some of which we'd remind people 5 years later that they're drifting from whatever the vision is because maybe it's changed, but a lot of times it doesn't. But some people veer off into other things or what's a shiny object, and it's kind of like, well, what's changed? Is that really your new vision or not? So that kind of helped solidify what the firm philosophy did was getting to know people on a different level in the beginning. And some people were like, kind of upset. Like, we're not even going to talk about my money right now. Like, I want to know, like, what are you going to do for me? Like, we can't do a good job until we get to this level. And so that kind of
Hmm.
set the standard for the way it was done at Searcy Financial from the beginning. Now, fast forward 19 years, and we still do a lot of that same stuff, but there's four partners now, and we all focus on different things. It's gone from a smaller firm where you just got to do a little bit of everything, which means you don't get good at any one thing. But now that we're bigger, there's scale. My focus gets to be on financial planning and meeting with clients that have been for years, but also being so involved in the community to connect people and resources and pay it forward in ways that is very, I guess it brings a lot of joy and happiness to what I get to do because I love that part. But it also, as you can imagine, leads to revenue, new relationships, more introductions, and kind of a firm reputation and presence that just doesn't happen from sitting in your office all day. So that is my role, which is good, and I love it, and it's perfect for me. But there's also a CEO role that I am not good at, that Jessica does fine, and visionary meets with less clients. kind of does a slower pace. I'm very busy. John, who does HR and compliance and financial planning too, and kind of manages workflow. Ryan, who is investment research related and operations and implementation. We're all different talents. It's just fortunate now that we've grown enough that we can, what's your strength and what do you want to do where it leads to value for clients and each other. So that's really nice. We're adding people too, and that's been interesting to plug new people into different roles with different talents. So it's kind of working in a way that's kind of exciting for the whole team.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, since everyone's kind of finding their niche within the business and handling, not one specific thing, but like a specific area, do you all work with every client?
Nope. It's
No.
interesting. Used to know every single client and have be the financial planner for them because at one time it was 100, less than 100 people. Now we probably serve 500 people, and there's new clients coming on that I don't know about. But as CFO and revenue and tracking, I know about them, but I don't know them. And that was hard for me. I thought I'd always just be a small business, and I thought I liked that. But at the end of the day, it's pretty satisfying when it grows without me doing anything. The firm just grows organically and because of new relationships. And then to hear like someone say, I know your team. I know this person, and I don't even know who they are. And the reputation is just kind of getting exponential, providing consistent deliverable service. So that's just really satisfying, but it is weird not to know everybody.
Yeah. That's it's a good problem to have because it means you're growing, but you're also like, ah, man, I used to like know everybody.
Yeah, and it's even we're going through another stage of capacity issues, right? I can't be the advisor for everybody. And so for the most part, over the last several years, FinTech has allowed us to do more with less time using financial planning software instead of spreadsheets. We go back a long way to doing things a lot differently. And then to even using AI on some things, listening, taking notes, creating better follow-up. So able to scale, but at the end of the day, it's like your head only has capacity for so many clients. So I'm going through a phase and a meeting right after this about what relationships probably need to be looked at as transition over the next few years. Because it's not a, hey, I'm out. You worked with me for 5 years or 10 years. All of which is familiar to us because the founder did that with me initially, and he's just retired last October. We had a nice party for him. He moved away about 8 years ago and lives in Naples, Florida. Kind of getting to a different area allowed him to let other people step up in leadership. But obviously, all of our clients are new clients, but clients that he brought on 30 or 40, 50 years ago that we're still serving, and that handoff to a new relationship with me as the primary has happened, but now it's happening for me to do it for other people in our firm. I call it G3, the generation that my hope is owners in the future. So that's kind of what we're trying to build from an internal succession plan.
Awesome. So to grow the firm, when you first came aboard, were there specific strategies or types of folks that you would focus on? And how has that changed, now 19 years later?
Yeah, I did not bring on a client for 5 years. So there's that.
Wow.
Okay. And there's reasons for that. I wasn't, one, confident. I was young. Two, people don't trust young people sometimes, even if they know what they're doing. And I was a CFP young. And then three, for me personally, I had seen or read about in the industry, like, all right, I brought you on and now I'm leaving. Follow me places. Like, and then sometimes that's a liquidation event, changing investment strategy. And then I just wanted to commit to the long term before I started developing business. But the founder was also like, if you really want to make this work, you should probably bring on business. And if you want the succession plan to work better, a growing business will pay for itself, meaning profits get bigger. You have more profits to pay off a loan to buy the business. Everybody wins, and it has, and it is. But I just didn't have the confidence. he focused in the 70s on physicians. I don't know what the percentage is, but probably over 50% of our clients are specialty physicians, high income. So they match his preference of meeting a minimum for the firm of which we had several years ago.
Mhm.
And then when he wanted me to do more business development, I said, none of my friends have $1 million. They just don't. They're 29, whatever. And our firm minimum is that. So what do? Do I just be nice to him and say, call me when you have $1 million? And our team thought of the idea that we wanted to bring financial planning to the masses, meaning forget that there's a minimum. Let's come up with a different service model that is lighter. And it wasn't profitable for a while, right? Because you go backwards, there's a lot of work to take on a $5,000 rollover because you're not making that much money. But that $5,000 rollover turned into $500,000 years later. Some of them don't. But that our philosophy is to bring that to them. But the founder didn't want to dilute the brand of what he built and got known for, so he let us create a subsidiary company called Alos Investment Advisors, and there's no minimums at all for that company. So now,
Mhm.
as the 29-year-old or whatever age I was when I bought a minority ownership stake, everybody's a prospect, which was great. Over the next several years, it was helping people. And for the first few years, it was the alternative to the robo-advisor. Like, we just managed money and we're a resource. What do you need? Remember, robo-advisors were popular around the 2010. And then those people were like, well, can you help me with like projections? Or I had kids. What about college funding? And because tech had caught up, it allowed us to provide lighter financial planning with less time and still provide value to those people. But we're like, we probably need to get paid for the extra time to do it. So we started charging a monthly subscription fee for access to the lighter financial planning, which has, this limited set of services. Um,
Mhm.
that set of services is still going on. It's $150 a month. Some people hire us for that with no assets under management. So we don't care. And it's interesting because that company allowed our full firm, remember, it's a subsidiary. We actually lease employees from Searcy to Alos based on time spent, create enough revenue to buy the business from the founder. So it's all worked out really well. But come full circle, I'm like, well, now I get why you have minimums. Like we can't serve everybody, but instead of raising our minimums, the thought process for us internally as a team, because we love doing this, is we want to empower our younger people that are joining our team. Like, you get to work with your peers, like I did when I was 29. Like, help them buy their first house like you are. You're having kids, they're having kids. Where when I started, I was only helping people 30 years older than me, and it was great. But there's something to be said when you have a relationship with your advisor that's, and not that I'm not friends with older clients, but it's just opened up the door to attracting younger talent to work for us. And then the younger generation, they refer other people. And for the most part, they're not already working with someone. You get a successful 65-year-old, it's like something has to go wrong with their existing advisor in order to
Mhm.
consider a change. It happens, and we look to help people. We're not trying to steal clients, but hey, we do a great job. I don't know what you've got, but here's value. If you're not getting it, we're a solution. But for young people, guess what? They've never worked with someone. So the amount of value you can bring because they don't come with preconceived expectations is great. And you see them go through taking advantage of financial planning because of so many more decisions that need to be made at your 30s, and life starts and marriage and all of the things about planning kind of set the standard for where you end up at 65. Because at 65, the plan is more tax-based investment management. And it's kind of like, it is what it is, right? So
Mhm.
it's nice that we have both. And one day I might sit with a $10 million net worth client and then go sit with a $10,000 client that's 23. So it's different what they need. But I think we all love it, and we'll continue to do that for the long term.
Hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. Are a lot of firms opening up their or I guess making it possible for folks of sort of any means to
Oh,
get involved? That's
I
pretty
think
unique.
so. I think
Okay.
so. And I think some that I'm familiar with have tried and realized it's not profitable. Like, man, we're spending all this time, and I don't
Hmm.
remember the time when it finally made sense of, all right, we're profitable. Because again, we lease an employee to it. So I know how much time we track all of our time. So I know how much time gets spent on Alos services. Allos is Latin for one and the same. So we manage the money the same way, meaning when we make a trade in a portfolio that happens on both companies, they get access to that. So that's not double the work there. But certainly it takes a few years to get there. And in this industry, you know this, it's reoccurring revenue. So if they follow your advice and they're young and they're saving, the revenue gets bigger. So it's almost like this just is in the industry. The more profitable, higher net worth clients are supplementing kind of the ones that aren't, and you end up in a better place from a valuation perspective because we get the company, both of them valued every year. The value of the younger clients, younger families is more valuable for the anticipation of expected revenue because they're adding where you go to an 85-year-old, we take care of them, but they're distributing assets. They're not going to be around forever. So the business that has all 85-year-olds is much less valuable than a business that has all 25-year-olds. Maybe not the number valuable, but the multiple definitely is different.
The compounding interest.
Yeah. And it wasn't until last year, which this is interesting. We always thought, it's the introduction to needing comprehensive planning. Last year, 5 clients, I don't know what the word is, graduated. They needed more comprehensive service. They met minimums that were associated with Searcy, and they've engaged Searcy Financial for the more comprehensive planning and investment management. So it's interesting because from a valuation perspective, it looks like we lost clients at Allos, right? They're not there anymore. And they're bigger ones because they're the ones that added. Now they're at Searcy, but at the end of the day, it's firm revenue. But that is starting to happen because, lives get more complicated the older you get.
You guys must be baseball fans because it sounds like that's your AAA team.
So no, this is what I'm fans of. This is what I'm fans of. This showed up just a little bit ago.
No,
we're in Kansas City, right? The big games this weekend. I head to New Orleans on Saturday, so I am going to the game. So that's ordered overnight to get here right in time to leave on Saturday. So, but we are baseball fans too, and Kansas City is a great sports town.
Well, that's your practice squad then, right? Isn't that their backup players?
Yes. So and if you're in Europe, soccer is a big deal too. Kansas City has the first ever woman-only stadium in the country for the Kansas City Current women's soccer team. It's right on the riverfront. It just opened last year. There's and of course the Chiefs winning and Royals the World Series, 2 of them in the last 10 years. There's a lot of people moving here. It's kind of fun to see the city. And the World Cup is coming here next year, 2026.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, I mean, city of champions, man. You guys, there's something in the water.
We will take it, and hopefully it rides a little longer.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, yeah, that'll be really exciting, man. We're at the brink of history in the making.
Yep.
This could be something real special. I mean, if he gets 4, he's got at least another decade of playtime.
Injuries are the big thing, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking, beating Brady, like getting 7 or 8. I think he's got a good chance of doing that. Like Brady's got to be kind of sweating. I don't want to count my eggs before they hatch.
Or
that's gonna be
the only one he ever loses is to Tom Brady.
Yeah,
and that'll never be looked at. Yeah, that'll just be a history too.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, I hope it's a great time, and I, hope Travis Kelce, proposes to
that too.
to Swift at the end. That'll be exciting. Awesome, cool. Well, we're coming towards the end of our time together. I have one final question for you. It's an open-ended question. You can take it in any direction that you like. And that question is, what are you working towards besides a 3-peat?
Yeah. Let's see. It's interesting. I'm working on being a good dad and a good husband. I'm married now and have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So that's really important. Love business, but that is a priority. But I'm trying to figure out how to do more with less time, meaning more time with my family, less time on work, because I worked a lot. Hired a life coach years ago, and she helped me with a lot of things.
I have one as well.
Yeah, you have a whole we can talk about that.
Yeah.
So this month and over the last few months, we're reviewing AI and how we can implement it into our business. And there's a lot of exciting things that can be talked about for that. Whether we stay with them or not, it'll be interesting. But, and as my younger mind would say, all right, then I'm just gonna do more with and spend the same amount of time. Now I'm thinking like, hopefully it saves time, just like hiring people does. Then I can start working out again. Then I can be present for my kids, but still not lack anything from a deliverable and client experience and expectations. That's my focus this year, is doing more with less time. So if you figure that out, let me know. But I think we're making headway for sure.
I'm right there with you. We're messing around with everything OpenAI throws at us. Messing around with DeepSeek, that new deep research sounds super cool.
We already use it a lot, or I do it personally, but it's I think like at one point people forgot that if you didn't know something, you could just Google it. So I think it will become second nature for people. They don't know what to use AI for, but once it starts becoming implemented, we're gonna wonder what we did without it in a good way. I think there's some people that don't think that, but I'm excited for the scalability and better service it can help our team do.
Yeah. And just the time saving. There's so many things that don't require like our expertise that AI can just automate or handle. So that's going to be, just a new level of, amazing life that we have ahead of us. So
then let's travel more too, and I'll come visit you overseas.
There you go. Yeah. Finally make it to Barcelona. You've been everywhere else.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mark, where can my audience find out more about you and everything y'all are working on?
Yeah, I'm very present in LinkedIn, the company website, searcyfinancial.com. I came around in the Facebook time. I connect with lots of people there too. So any of those, it's Mark with a C. I haven't created a fancy tagline for people to remember that. So MARC, Shaffer at Searcy Financial is the best way to do it.
Great. And we'll be sure to link to all that in the show notes. Mark, thank you so much for coming on the show. My father was a financial advisor. He finished school somewhere around 25, went to go get a job, and they're like, no one's gonna let you manage their money. Come back when you're 32 or 35. And he's like, dang it. And he went and he sold cars for like 6 or 7 years until they were like, all right, you're like more bald now. I guess people let you
it helps.
Manage their money.
It gets easier the older you get from a building trust perspective. And I don't know how to speed that up other than to be very experienced and talented, smart. That helps.
Yeah. So awesome. Well, super enjoyed meeting you. You work as hard as you explore this beautiful world, and you got a great head on your shoulders. It sounds like beautiful family. So we'll be excited to watch your journey and watch you guys continue to grow over at Searcy.
And one more plug. It's a plug, I guess. I'm working on a book, and it's kind of a process for the way that our firm has continued to develop and grow, and it's process driven, so it can be repeatable. It's how I do it and choose to it. And it's based on the Irish proverb, if you hand it out in slices, it comes back in loaves. Done it for 19 years and it's coming back in loaves. It's a good thing. So I'm trying to teach the other people on the team the culture of doing that, but it can't be done with the check the box. So it's being done in a book that's coming out later this summer. So maybe we can talk again about that at another time. It'll be fun to see.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. That sounds awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Mark, for coming on the show. All of our listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in, and keep on growing out there, everybody. See ya.